Vortex Viper enclosed shotgun red dot mount. Make sure you're subscribed and you hit the bell icon. When you first get your optic out of the box, use the tool provided to unscrew the battery cap, and then you'll see a tab. So if you remove the tab, place in the battery, and then use the tool to close the compartment. That is your new battery fitted to the optic. To first power up the Viper optic, press the plus or the minus button. Motion activation. The Vortex Viper red dot has a raise to wake motion activation similar to the Vortex Defender range. So picking up the optic will switch on the red dot. However, if you power down the red dot manually, this will disable the motion activation. So you need to let it auto shut off after 10 minutes, and that will keep the raise to wake feature switched on. Auto shut off feature. The Vortex Viper has a 10-minute auto shutdown feature. However, if you did want to disable this, you can. If you press and hold the plus and the minus buttons simultaneously for 3 seconds, the dot will start off at its lowest setting and gradually work up to its higher setting. Once it has done that, that means that the auto shut off is disabled. So I'll switch on the optic. The optic's been switched on, so let's press and hold the plus and minus buttons for 3 seconds, and then you can see it cycle through the LED sequence. Once it's cycled through that sequence, that means that the auto shut-off has been disabled. If we want to re-enable the auto shut-off feature, we press and hold the buttons for 3 seconds again. So let's do that. As you can see, it started off at the highest brightest setting and then went down to the lowest and then went back to our red dot setting. Brightness selection. The Vortex Viper has 12 brightness settings. 10 are daylight visible, and then there's 2 night vision compatible. So I'm going to cycle through each of the settings. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then when I press for the 13th time, it flashes to show that I am at the top of the brightness settings. Multi-Reticle version. If you have the Multi-Reticle version, you can select the different reticles by pressing the plus and minus simultaneously in a single click. Each single click will cycle through each of the 7 different reticles. Brightness setting is right up so that you can see. Let's cycle through all of the reticles in the Multi-Reticle version. To start with, we have the default single 3 MOA red dot. Reticle 2 is a single 3 MOA dot with a 32 MOA circle. Reticle 3 is a single 3 MOA dot with a 65 MOA circle. Reticle 4 is a single 3 MOA dot with a 32 and 65 MOA circle. Reticle 5 is a 32 MOA circle. Reticle 6 is a 65 MOA circle. And finally, Reticle 7 is a 32 MOA and 65 MOA circle. Once you've cycled through all of the different reticle options, pressing the plus and minus button again will take you back to the first setting. Once you've found the reticle that you want to use, the Vortex Viper will remember that setting, and when the auto unit shuts off and is turned back on again, it will default to that reticle. MOA Reticle Subtensions. Let's take a look at the MOA Reticle Subtensions. The Multi-Reticle version, featured within the Viper shotgun enclosed micro red dot, is based on minutes of angle subtensions. The Multi-Reticle Subtensions include a 3 MOA center dot, a 32 MOA circle and a 65 MOA circle. Battery runtime and battery life. As you have seen, the Vortex Viper uses a CR2032 battery. If you disabled the auto shutdown feature and left your Vortex Viper on setting 6, it would last on average 50,000 hours. So that's 2,083 days. However, I would recommend changing the battery on your Optic at least once a year so that you don't get caught out. Thank you for watching my video on the Vortex Viper enclosed shotgun red dot mount. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to hit that like button, make sure you're subscribed and you hit the bell icon. Thank you so much for watching. In my next video, I'm going to go through how to mount the Vortex Viper enclosed shotgun red dot on my Beretta 1301 Comp Pro.